Welcome to Bookish Babble. All right, guys, very excited because we are here today to talk about Right on Cue by Fallon Ballard. I loved this book. What a shock. Who's surprised? I rated it 5 stars.
You've been trying to get us to read this book for like months.
Okay. I posted on TikTok about this book and she saw it. I felt like so cool. I was like, oh my God, Fallon Ballard.
Saw it?
Oh, Fallon Ballard. Yeah.
Wow.
She saw my TikTok and I was like, this isn't talked about enough on TikTok. I really loved it. You know, like enemies to lovers essentially. And it's about film. And that's why I picked it up because you guys do film. My fiance does film. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's a book and film. I have to read it.
Yeah.
So good. I loved it. I know you guys, as we go down the line, had more problems with it. But I loved the banter. I loved the relationship. I loved how just cute it was. And I don't know. It was just really good. I really loved it. I read it a couple months ago. And I was like, guys, like, let's do this one because it's really good. So let's go down the line. We know that I loved it. And I loved everything about it. And I love this author. I'm very excited to read more of her books. As we're filming this today, she put out a new book. It's a Christmas book, and I think it's called All I Want Is You. Yeah, so I'm very excited to read more of her stuff, and you definitely should look into her books because she's awesome. Katie?
Did you write a Goodreads review for her?
I didn't. I posted on TikTok instead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
I gotta pull up mine for Katie.
Katie?
I love this book.
Yay.
I finished it. I'm not going to lie. I did finish it this morning, which I've been going through this book for a couple days now, and I only had like 10 minutes left of it this morning, so I woke up at like 5:45 a.m. and I was like, let me read this book before I go to work. I was obsessed. I loved it. It was so funny because this is my first, like, I want to classify it as like real life romance because I've been reading a lot of like fantasy and like romantasy kind of stories, and so the whole time, like, I thought, like, I was overanalyzing it because, like, I was like, oh, like, there's got to be some twist about to come up here because, like, I don't know. I was, like, too critical of it and too overanalyzing because
I get what you mean.
was, like,
You're waiting for the
other
other shoe
the
to
secret
drop.
villain. Yeah,
Yeah,
like, the
right.
other shoe to drop. There'd be the secret villain. At the end of the day, it was just a cutesy little love story about two people falling in love. And I loved it.
I love y'all.
And I love Christmas, and I love
Christmas
film
too.
and all the cozy things.
I am wearing a Christmas sweater.
This should be the Christmas
Okay.
episode. Should we read her book for our Christmas episode?
Can we?
There's so many other better Christmas books.
Whatever page. Go ahead. Go tear it apart.
I love you guys.
It's okay. You have your
Would
own
you rate it?
opinions.
I rated it
A breath.
3 stars, which means I still enjoyed it.
Yes, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
Read your Goodreads review.
Come on.
Go ahead.
I had so many problems with this book. All right, so we're gonna go through my Goodreads review, and it's long because it's like bullet pointed.
Okay.
So these were notes that I was taking as I was reading it because I didn't want to forget anything.
Okay, fair.
So I just wrote, this book was not my favorite cup of tea. I have some issues with it, but overall, enjoyable. Here is where the spoilers come in.
Oh, yeah. If you haven't read it, spoilers.
These are just some notes I wrote while reading. I think they sum up my experience. In quotes, Grayson fucking West. End quote. And I just wrote, has overstayed its welcome as a statement. Fucking get over it. Stop acting like you're 8 years old and just call him by his name. Next bullet point.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to be so defensive.
No, you're fine.
My brain is already going, but she is an 8-year-old because she's brought back to her 13-year-old trauma.
Yeah, it was
anyway, sorry. I'm being too critical.
No, it's fine. That's part of what I wrote in here.
Yeah.
Also, she only ever references him as Grayson West and never just Grayson. I'm not a fan of it. It's repetitive and it's getting on my nerves, but I understand that it is intentionally written like that to hammer home that Harper is thinking like her inner child, i.e. like her 15-year-old self. And then the next quote, my God, woman, pull your head out of your ass. I'm so sick of her taking everything the wrong way. I swear this woman lives to be offended by Grayson.
LOL.
Yeah.
Okay, it's chapter 14 now, and there is actually starting to be an interesting storyline. Grayson is the
Oh
hero
my
of the
God.
story, in my opinion. Poor guy. Harper has just been whining about her problems as a 15-year-old, and yeah, it sucked, but it was years ago, and you're an adult now. And now all she cares about is how much sex she can have with the guy that had supposedly ruined her career as a 15-year-old because of a rumor he started. Shut the fuck up. Even after you had a nice, heartfelt, meaningful conversation about feelings and things, you are still hunting for sex from this man. Bro, read the room.
Wow.
Do you remember when that happened? When he
Yeah.
laid out his trauma and she was like, right, but like...
So
Sexy
we're not
time?
having sex tonight? Yeah, that's literally what she said.
That is literally what she said, and I was so pissed. I was
That's fair though.
girl.
It's fair.
Oh my
it's valid.
God, read the room. And then after I said, bro, read the room, he's actually treating you with care and compassion because Harper is so emotionally stunted. When Grayson tries to offer her a safe space to say, he offers for her to stay with him for the night. She gets up and closes the door behind her without saying a word. Girl, WTF, fix your shit. This is exhausting reading a character this flawed.
I'm so sorry. Could I cut in just before
Yeah.
I lose this thought? It was a little bit of a pet peeve of mine when she's like, I have to be mature and stay in the room and, you know, like be an adult and be here and be present. Any chance she got, it was just like, and I ran out of the room before I could even think.
Yeah.
They say cut, she runs off set. Grayson looks at her, she runs to her room. Like, it was constantly her running, which I guess it shows her emotional state of being stunted as a 15-year-old.
Yes.
Mentally, but it was like, I mean, maybe that is just the way it was written, but I know actually living and being on set, if someone literally ran off set after the director yelled cut, it would be a major problem.
Yeah.
So it's like, and cut. And then I just picture her literally just like, goodbye, and just running away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I get it. She just, you know, she had her problems, but it's all right. That's just her personality.
Okay.
Do you think her Nepo baby personality played a lot into her attitude and her behavior to just do whatever she kind of wanted on set?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. Because I get it, it is her movie and it was her script, but like, sheesh. Like, you are not the person.
No, I understand.
You're one of the actors, and yeah, you wrote it, but that's now, it's not in your hands as a writer. You're now an actor, and in terms of people who are in charge on set, you are not at the top of that list anymore.
And it's funny because, like, when you read it, if I wasn't in the film world, I would imagine she's like, oh, and there's all these people on set, and you only hear certain names, like the best friends, the makeup artist, the hair artist, Grayson, some of the producers. You literally think, okay, maybe there's like 10, 15 people working on this. No, there's probably like 40, 50 people working on this film, and you have to understand the scope of like how her actions are now
Affecting all those people and their time,
like
and stuff.
50 people, because the days that got canceled, which is also Grayson's fault because they couldn't act together in a scene. But like I was shocked because like at a scale of that level, if the actors aren't getting along, then like all these like camera operators and lighting people and sound people are going, oh God, is my paycheck gonna be affected by this? Because it's happened to me that the talent was like so sketch and the director's going, oh, I don't know if we're gonna make this work, and me over here like moving like a coffee cart, I'm going, are they not gonna sign my paycheck at the end of the week if the actor quits? Like,
yeah,
I was thinking more logistically.
No, yeah, me too, because we've both been on sets like that.
Yeah.
It's awful when that happens.
Yeah.
Oh my God, and having to do like 40, 50 takes, it's mind-numbing. Yeah. Having to hear it over and over and over again. Like, at the end of the day, you probably know the movie better than the actors, because you just have the whole script memorized at this point.
That's fair.
But...
And it's fun because you guys have a different perspective than me, because I mean, I don't do film, so it's just interesting to see like what you guys, that's why I was like, I want you guys to read it, because I'm, you know, curious on your take of that side of it as well.
I think it created different stakes then for people who aren't in the film world. They just read it as a love story, which is what it is.
Yes.
And so I was able to, like, an enemies to lovers. But then there was other stakes involved, because it's not just like enemies to lovers and like their jobs are at stake. It's enemies to lovers, and there's like a massive like scale of how this could affect so many people.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
Me and you, I was worried about us two reading it because I was like, okay, if they get things wrong, we're gonna make a stink about it.
If they get like camera technical terms wrong,
I'm glad there were none.
I know, and like anything that has to do with like you know.
Yeah, it was mainly from the actor's perspective, and that's the part of this world that we don't know that
Yes.
well. But we know it. We know the world itself good enough to know what they're doing is wildly inappropriate.
Yes.
For like set etiquette.
Yes.
She's like, wasn't like Madonna like that as an actor? She just kind of did what she wanted, essentially,
yeah.
and
I don't know.
but like pop off, sis.
Oh, but I do have to say one thing of like every time she was like, and we went to the cafe, the crafty room, which crafty for
Craft services,
using
yeah.
craft services for people who don't know. I'm just using the term. She's like, and we were in crafty, and I got a cup of coffee, and we were in crafty, and we were having like cookies and bagels and croissants and stuff, and I'm like, damn, what a crafty room!
Yeah.
Like
For us, it's
I'm
like,
like,
Welch's fruit
wow.
snacks and a granola bar and bottles of
Well,
water.
remember she won an Oscar.
Yeah, so
Before
it's a pretty
this-
big film.
Yeah, so like
her
you're
budget's
talking about
a
the
and
lot.
like
scope of the film
her
is
parents were also like famous actors and
Yeah.
actresses, and her dad passed away, and then she wrote like a really sad movie. This was her love story
Yes.
back from
Yes.
that sad thing that she won for. So
Yeah.
just saying, just defending my girl, pop off, sis.
No, I wasn't defending. I was
No,
just
I'm
like
kidding, I'm
jealous.
kidding.
I'm low key jealous of like the quality of the set.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Everybody had rooms to stay in.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Sometimes
Yeah, there
I'm
was
like,
no one
gonna
bed
sleep in
troping.
my
Everyone got
car.
their own room.
yes.
One day when we're all famous, it's gonna be fine. We're already famous because someone recognized you.
Oh my god.
They're like, "Aren't you on a podcast?" And I'm like, "We're famous."
Someone at work was like, "Aren't you on a podcast?" I was like, "Oh my god, how'd you find that?" She's like, "You're
internet.
not proud of that?" Like, I was internally cringing. I was like, "Oh my god, like, how'd you find that?"
Oh my god, Katie's embarrassed of us.
No, I'm not. But I was like, "Oh, I totally forgot that it's just out on the internet."
Again, we're famous.
Yes.
Can I get back to ripping?
Yes. Yes.
into-
Oh, please.
So most of the time I refer to her as Harper, but it's Emmy Harper
Yes.
is her full
Yes.
name.
Yes.
So after this is exhausting to reading a character this flawed. Blah, blah, blah. Also, now that Harper got her period early, she gets to ask him to stay with her now? I don't think so. But Grayson, like the gentleman he is, opts to stay with her because he's head over heels for her and she still can't figure her shit out.
Wait.
So, with women's periods, there should be, like, when you get your period, you should be allowed to take off work if it's that bad and not, like, affect. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, not, like,
I think
there should be, like, medical leave for it. Like,
think
I feel
that
like
there
once a
should be
month.
One day for medical leave per
Right.
month for, like, an extra medical day. Like, a day specifically for it. Because some people, the cramps last all week. Some, it lasts a couple days. Some, it's
Right.
the worst on the first day. And then
It's
as
fine,
the
the
week
rest,
goes
like,
on,
yeah.
it's either fine or it trickles down.
Right.
But yeah, that pissed me off that like he was Grayson was divulging his like feelings and his trauma in terms of like hockey and whatever, and she's like, "Oh, that's some strong stuff. I'm gonna dip. Bye," and leaves after he asked her to stay, and then not even a couple days later, she got her period, so she had to like call in sick, and she asked him to stay, and I was fully waiting for Grayson to be like, "No." Because that's what she did to him.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "No, I'm going to stay and like take care of you." And I was like, this dude is too good to this woman. She does not
If he wanted to, he would.
deserve- No. And then farther into the book, another quote from the book, "And my heart grew 3 sizes," end quote. And I said, okay, this line literally just confirms that Harper is a true Grinch.
Writes a love story
Yeah.
is Grinch.
Yeah. In terms of her own love life, like, this shit's crazy. Anyway, I said, also, I know damn well I did not just read Hot AF in a book besides the Crave series.
Wow.
The second I heard that,
It's
I
back.
was like, oh, good Lord,
You're a
no.
little traumatized. from
She only
that
says
one.
it like
Yes.
once,
Huh?
right?
Yeah.
She only
She
says
only says it
once.
once.
Yeah.
But I was like,
If it was twice, we would have heard about it.
you are hearing about it. But, like, I'm now triggered from the Crave series. Hot AF. Sexy AF. Shut up. So, it's so stupid. No one writes like that. It was dumb. Anyway. Here I go again. There's only 3 more bullet points.
That's it?
3 more? Yeah. I could do more.
That's okay.
So, next. Even when we thought that Grayson was a jerk because of the convo he had with his manager, I was still not ready to leave his corner because we didn't hear the whole convo. She left rather than sticking around to hear the rest, not even giving him a chance to dispute what the manager was saying. This bitch, I swear. She's the queen of making assumptions.
Okay, at that part, I did get mad because I was like, girl, like, you know, he's like so into you and so there for you. And
like, are you not going to stick around to see if he's going to fight for you?
Right, at least talk to him, because then she like pretty much breaks it off. She goes back to her mom's house and like
she doesn't even allow him a chance to explain.
Yes.
No.
And all this
that made me mad. I was like,
all this could have been
resolved.
I know, miscommunication
It
trope. I know. I know.
Yeah.
I can't screw that noise.
We're good. Okay.
It's so
What else you got?
mind-numbingly annoying.
What else you got, dog?
I said I wish Grayson made Harper work a little more to fix the relationship. Because all that really happened was, even after she was like, I'm so sorry, can you forgive me? He was like, I need time. I don't think I can forgive you. This was, you still made the worst assumptions about me, even though you know me and you know my heart. Like,
yeah.
Why?
I feel like I'm watching like an episode of The Bachelor.
Yeah.
And then like a couple days later when they're at the premiere, you know, fucking in the closet.
Yeah.
That's when he's like, I haven't been able to stop thinking about you. And I'm like, dude, stay strong. God darn it. Make her work for it.
Yeah.
I was mad. But
he just fell way harder than she did.
yeah. And it's awful because she didn't treat him nicely.
Yeah. It's fair.
There's an old saying, and whether or not you believe it or not, because I don't know if I believe it, but there's an old saying that it's like, if the guy is more in love with the girl than the girl is with the guy, then the relationship will last. Mm-hmm. And if the girl is in love more with the guy than the guy is with the girl, the relationship won't last. The trope in this book is that, you know, that he's more in love with her than she is with him. So that's why their relationship worked. And that's a hot take. And I don't know if I fully believe that, but I'm saying for the trope of the story,
it works.
It works.
It
and
does.
It checks out, because even at the end of the day, when she got what she wanted, she was still a little like
skeptical.
She was a little skeptical.
Like, she could not
she couldn't wrap her head around like loving somebody that she literally called her mom, and she's like, Mom, the boy said he liked me. What do I do? It's like on like the playground when you're like Timmy pushed me and he said he liked me. What do I do? And the mom's like, well, do you like him back? And she's like, yeah. She's like, okay, then go get him. Like, what are you asking me
Go
for?
get him, dog. I keep saying dog.
Yeah. You
Okay, Paige, what's your last point?
I need a minute. I need a minute to recover.
I think
whatever just transpired.
I think we're all really sleepy, Boo.
Really sleepy.
It's 8:30.
Okay,
It's past my bedtime.
continue.
Last bullet point. And while I am happy that they get their happy ending, Emmy Harper is still so frustrating to read about. I am a Grayson stan and believe he deserves better, but if he is truly happy, then I guess it's fine.
Yay!
Only furthering my point.
Yes.
Yes.
Yay!
So yeah, that's the problems I had with this. I think the female main character was not relatable, and I hated it when it was like her,
Not everybody's
her
gonna be
POV.
relatable.
Right, but she was just not good. I didn't like her character.
That's okay.
She did nothing but annoy me.
And this would be an interesting perspective is if the book was written through the perspective of Grayson pursuing her.
Oh, it would be loads different. Because she, in the beginning, when she accidentally knocked into his chest, as you do in a romance book,
Yeah.
she was like, no. Like, her inner monologue was, not this fucking guy. Grayson fucking West. What are you doing here? Like, immediately pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you his inner monologue was, oh, I know this girl. We worked on a movie together. hey, she looks really nice now that she's an adult. Oh, wow, she's being really rude to me. All right, well, two can play at this game.
Yeah.
Right.
He gives off golden retriever energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like the way he acted towards her, like, again, just being annoyed and whatever, and just like feeling awkward when they were acting, and that's why their chemistry was off. Like, it was totally valid because of how she reacted when she saw him. So I get it.
She started it.
She did.
Yeah,
she was
she did.
immediately pissed. Once again, not hearing him out
Yes.
and not talking about it like adults.
Yeah.
It happens.
Like the hell. Also, I think another reason why I had such a hard time believing this couple or like reading this couple is because I'm so used to reading books where the male love interest is the dark and mysterious brown hair. The second I hear blonde hair,
Blue eyes.
yeah,
I just ignore that.
yeah, my brain will like autocorrect it to like brown hair, and yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I always like when I read or see a character with blonde hair, blue eyes, I just think like frat boy Chad. No, I think I just think of like frat boy Chad, you know, that he's gonna be like all bro and like everything. You
That's
know?
so valid.
But
I mean, he was a hockey player.
yeah, but he wasn't like. It's a little different.
Yeah, it was different. But yeah, give us our dark haired.
And it's always the
Yeah.
it's
Give
always
us-
the trope of like that he's like dark and mysterious and you know you gotta soften his like hard heart. Like no, like
Yeah.
Grayson had the soft heart all along. He was just
She
like
wa-
he was
he was
just
trying to
confused.
soften.
Right.
He was just confused. He's like, why is this girl mad at me?
Yeah.
So, again, I just love
Mm-hmm.
so much, no matter how it happens. As long as the people end up happy together and it works out, I'm happy. Like I was agreeing with you guys. Like there are parts of it I was like, oh my gosh, just like, girl, relax. Like,
But you ignored it.
it's fine. It's fine. We gotta ignore sometimes.
Paige is like the cynic, and then Skylar's like
Normally I'm not, but when it came to this, for some reason I was just like, I can't.
Yeah. I don't know. I just really liked it, and I liked too when they were having the intimate scene, like in the movie.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
like, "Oh
Oh,
crap,
yeah.
why did I write this?" But I liked how he.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. You finish your thought, and then I have a thought.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
I was just
It
gonna say
it
I
literally
like.
hit me like a train.
I
Sorry.
was just gonna say I like how he handled it, and it wasn't like too weird. Like, of course they were like, "Oh, this is weird," but then like they were being. I feel like that was like one of the most mature parts of the book was how they.
Their chemistry lied.
Yeah, and then. You know, they get freaky in the book, and okay, with Katie.
Katie's biting her lip. What's happening?
I was just saying. Well, yes, I agree that was when, like, they were both the most mature because they were like, "Are you okay?" They're checking in on each other. Like,
Yeah.
that's sweet, and it's intimate in its own way,
Right.
Without being intimate,
Yeah.
because they're caring about each other's feelings and headspace. However, she only started to fall in love with him after they performed fake sex. So wait, therefore, did she only fall in love with him because the sex was good?
Yes, this is what I've been saying. She did not care about him, and then she was like, "Oh."
And the bonus was that he was like sweet and charming, and that just was like the little whipped cream and cherry on top.
Yeah, but they went on dates, and he was very gentlemanly.
After
And
they've had like 3 months of like rip
Well-
roaring sex.
well, because they said that's just what they wanted the relationship to
No,
be.
it was friends with
Co-stars with
benefits.
benefits.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and then, so yes, when she first started liking him, that's where it started. But then, you know, then they started going on dates, and it was
Wait,
like,
wait, wait.
oh, like he's actually like a sweet guy, and starts to fall for her, you know.
Meanwhile,
that's
she's
cute.
like,
No,
I
but
don't
that's
know.
so like her perspective is friends with benefits. His perspective is have sex with her and I'll get better jobs. And then both of them just like happen to fall in love with
Yeah.
each other.
They're lucky, because then it could have, you know.
I just feel like she was chasing after this like showman romance. What was it called?
Showmance?
Showmance. Yes, when the two actors fall
The
in
two
love
leads.
and
Mhm.
then become a couple and get married and live happily ever after. I feel
Yeah.
like she was chasing that because her parents
Yes.
were the example,
Yes.
and she saw how much they loved each other growing up, so she wanted to emulate that in
Yeah.
her relationship growing up, because in her mind that is true happiness, and this was the easiest way to find it.
Yeah.
I feel like she was trying to force it a little bit. She's lucky that Grayson fell head over heels with her first.
Or else he would have just been like, yeah, like, I'm only with her because the sex is good, you know?
Yeah.
And like, and I also feel like she was like heavily throwing herself into the character that she wrote, and that was her like kind of excuse for justifying her actions of wanting, you know, to be with him and wanting to be physically intimate with him, is just because she was like, oh well, no, I'm not, it's not really me, it's what was the character's name? Emmy? Or no,
Emmy was the actress / writer.
yes, but what was the character that
Susan.
it was like, let's say
I don't
Susan.
know.
Sure.
But that was her justifiable excuse. Oh well, no. It's not me, Emmy, who needs this. It's for my role.
Right.
That like.
Yeah.
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 Sorry,
Bitch.
It's okay.
I'm changing sides. It's still it's still a 4-star.
Sides.
It's still a 4-star in my book. Did you get what I did there? No, but I'm just saying now I'm like starting to unpack it all, and it's like.
Yeah, no, like
wow.
I see where you guys are coming from, and I saw some of this like as I was reading it, but I don't know. I'm just
love.
the romance
I
was
love
just I don't know. I just,
So I do have a question. At the end, when they finally like made up at the premiere, did we ever find out if the movie actually turned out good or not?
I don't know.
I forget.
I think so, because then
Like,
they got other jobs and stuff
But, like in like theory or like meta, I don't know. In theory, you would assume the movie was good, but they say nothing about it.
maybe it was just like alluded
premieres,
that it was
That it did well.
really great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I read this a few months ago, so I don't know if I'm just thinking like, oh yeah, like they said it, but or I'm just like, you just have to assume it. But I mean, regardless, I think that's just something like we would assume, because then again, they started, you know, they ended up living together and then doing jobs together or separate and doing whatever. But his agent at first wanted him to just be with her to get more roles.
Jobs, yeah.
But then he was like, nah, dog, like that's not me. And then
I still just don't understand how her, like, he asked her to move in with him. And that same night, she panics because she hears the conversation. Do you not think, do you really think that if he truly did not love you in any way, shape, or form, that he would be asking you to move in with him, or vice versa, him move in with you? Because he has to have at least some feelings for you or like you enough to be around you that much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did that
100%.
not clue you in,
Yeah.
Emmy?
I think she was still just like butthurt about him saying like,
I bet with all that sex they're having.
wow.
Wow.
I'm saying.
Wow.
I think that she was still upset that he was saying like she was a bad kisser when they were younger, and like that kind of like ruined her career. That like, you know, upset her. So I don't know. I feel like maybe she was just like triggered like by him, I guess, because she didn't know she could trust him even though she wanted to.
Meanwhile,
You know?
trusting him with her body and her vulnerable state.
It's different.
I don't understand this woman's thought process.
Well,
But overall, I enjoyed the story.
okay.
Okay.
Good. I'm glad. I really liked it, obviously, like I said before, and what I rated it and everything.
I liked
But-
it. It was a good steamy read, but now I'm unpacking it and I'm just like, well, I think again because I've read so many like romantasy books and like where there's actual like villain
Right.
tropes and stuff.
Plot besides romance.
Yes. I was like looking for this plot that didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
I think I was too.
I thought the friend, not the friend, but the actress who played the best friend in the film, the one that
Jenna?
Emmy met,
Jenna.
I thought she was secretly gonna be like bad all along, like you know, like either
Oh my
swoop
gosh.
in or like sell inside information to like TMZ or something,
right.
like that kind of
took
stuff.
pictures
and
She
then
took
sold
pictures
it.
and
Yeah,
sold it.
yeah.
Like I thought like she was too good to be true, too nice that she was just getting close to then like
Yeah.
to sabotage. But no, it was just I was overeating it, and they were just, you know, besties getting hot chocolate, and it was just literally about love. That's it.
Yeah. I love romance books. I've read so many that I'm just like, oh my gosh, I love romance. It just makes me so happy.
A problem.
What's your problem?
So, I am not, at my core, a romance reader.
I know. I'm proud of you for how much you have read, though. But you're over it.
Yeah. She said it perfectly. I'm over it. I am so exhausted. I don't mind. I, in fact, like when romance is a subplot. But when it is the driving force of the story, I'm just like, I need other stuff going on. Because, like,
it's fair.
Like, I've read more romance books than I ever thought I would because of you. And I hopped onto the Chestnut Spring series with you.
So good. And now you're almost done before I am.
And it is so good. Yeah, I was like 3 books behind you.
We're on the same one now. You're just almost done, and I just started it. So.
Okay. But, like, I took a break between Reckless and Hopeless.
Okay.
In between that, I read Right on Cue.
Okay.
And I think that might be what, like...
the nail in the coffin for
it.
Yeah, like,
I honestly think, because I was so frustrated.
Yeah.
But I, like, really wanted to read Hopeless right after Reckless, but I was like, no, I gotta read this book in, like, 24 hours. So I did that, and I was like, oh, this is awful. Anyway, back to Hopeless, because I was excited to continue the story of the characters, but reading it, I'm just like, head empty. Like, there's no substance to the book anymore because I'm so romanced out.
I don't think I ever could be romanced out.
Well, we'll revisit this in, like, the next 3 episodes.
Yeah, I'm like,
you're going to be like, oh, I'm romanced out.
Well, because I normally, when I feel myself getting, like, burnt out on a specific genre, I will switch to a different one. And that'll keep me being able to be like, okay, I'm still passionate about reading. I'm going to pick this one up next. I've been wanting to read this, whatever. Because normally, when I read too much fantasy and my brain starts to hurt, I will switch to a thriller. And then I'll read thrillers until my brain starts to hurt.
Right.
And then I'll go back to fantasy. I've only switched between thriller, mystery, and fantasy my whole life. Now there's a third genre, so I can hop around more now. But I think after I'm done with the Chestnut Spring series, like after I'm done with Hopeless, I'm cooked.
And you read Wild Eyes, too.
I did. I read that before I started the Chestnut Spring series because I read Wild Love first by Elsie Silver.
Me too.
And then, like a month or 2 later, Wild Eyes came out. And then you started reading the Chestnut Spring series, and I was like, I do really want to be able to talk to her about this, and I want to be able to, like, know like, I want to know the hype.
Yeah, and after...
all I hear is the hype.
Right, and after reading Wild Love, like, a lot of Chestnut Spring series, like, things were alluded in it, and I wanted to be in the know, so that's why I'm waiting to read Wild Eyes until I'm done. But
so, yeah. But eventually, I will go on to the Gold Rush Ranch series, but I need a breather.
That's okay. I get it.
Yeah, like, I was so like, today, before I even came here, I think I told you, I stared at my bookshelf.
Yeah, you were struggling.
2 hours. Looking at everything, being like, what can I read next? Because right now, I feel like romance is actually putting me into, like...
a reading slump?
Not a slump, but a hangover, but not a good reading hangover. It's not like, oh my God, I just read the most epic book that how will it ever compete? Like, I need time to process.
Right.
It's like, okay, I'm full of the romance genre now. I need to put something else, like, in my view now. But because...
just go read Throne of Glass again.
I know.
She considered it, guys. She considered it.
I really did. Again, 2 hours staring at my bookshelf. Like, oh my gosh. But I was staring, and I was between the Way of Kings fantasy book, Malice, a ton of other fantasy books, and I was like, should I read a thriller? Like, I legitimately could not pick to save my life. I went back and forth between, like, 5 books constantly, and I couldn't pick. I was like, screw it! I'm picking from my TBR jar. And I have my own TBR jar with all the stuff that I own and need to read.
Right.
So I was
more like a TBR jug.
It's the same size as that, but yeah, there's way more in it.
Yeah,
It
it's way
is
more.
that exact same container, but I have way more in it.
Speaking of the TBR jar.
Yes. Oh, hold on. I finally settled on a book, and it's
Oh,
gonna be,
right. Sorry.
Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. That's what I
Okay.
picked,
Pop off.
and I'm excited.
Well, again, speaking of the TBR jar.
You need help?
Can I pick this time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay!
Last time you picked it was Red Rising.
I did not like that book. I know we didn't. I
Alright.
DNF'd it.
All right,
Sorry.
Won't cry about it.
I will.
Me and Katie will do that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. You good?
Yes.
What is
Damn
it?
it.
Belladonna.
Oh,
Yes.
hell yeah.
I mean, so Katie brought it up to us. She was like, "Oh my god, we have to read this book." Oh. And I got the first two because Target was doing buy one get 50.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll just get these for now because they only had it in paperback.
Mhm.
But I don't really care. I can have paperback and hardcover. I know
No.
that bothers them, but whatever, as long as I have it.
Yeah.
But I mostly, honestly, like Kindle's like been my best friend. And
Your weak little wrists.
yes, look how small and sad they are. So, oh, the lid, like for
The Kindle
SpongeBob.
is easier on the wrists. I find
It is,
myself
yeah.
wanting to read it on the Kindle, and when it's not on the Kindle, I get kind of sad.
Right, and I literally have a pile of books from the floor up to here. I'm not even kidding.
Same.
That don't fit on my shelf. It's bad.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, saving money, Kindle, and just audiobooks, but I'm very excited to read this book. It seems very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ever
It's a
since you-
series.
Yes. And the third one just came out like what, a couple weeks ago?
Yep.
Mhm.
And I bought it.
Pop off.
Yeah.
Did you start reading it?
Yeah, and I didn't realize it was a series. I didn't do any research. I tried going in blind.
Well,
and then I read like the first chapter and I was like, okay, I feel like I'm missing major plot points here.
what I do whenever I don't know if something's a series, I literally look it up on Goodreads because
Yeah.
I'm like,
Also,
what
I
is?
know,
No, I
sorry to
know.
cut you off.
No, you're
I know
fine.
that author wrote other things.
Right,
But
you
I
didn't
I
realize.
thought it was a different thing. I thought it was like a standalone series.
I was
Yeah.
thinking about like starting this soon anyway, so I'm happy that we picked it.
Yes.
But thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Bookish Babble. You babblers are babbling tonight. Pop off, sis. My stomach's making a weird noise. Did you hear that?
I did.
Anyway, subscribe, follow all of our social
Hit
medias.
that notification bell. Ew.
Subscribe.
Smash that like button. Yeah.
All of our links.
Yeah.
All of our links to our social medias, Goodreads, TikToks, Instagram, that's all down below, as well as the link to our highlight channel on TikTok.
Yes.
Yes, so make sure to do all of that stuff, and we will see you guys next week.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.